Good afternoon, everyone. Not afternoon, but we are close to the afternoon. Um, Thanks, TEA, for giving an opportunity for me to learning a specific grading, because I seriously was thinking while teaching that how to improve students to learn as well as engage more actually to improvement. Uh, so I teach labs at the Department of Chemistry, and those labs are already being designed with the Professor Singh Master. Here I'm presenting this course I teach at the Evergreen Valley College is the organic chemistry. So experimented and is still working on. It's not done. It's a long process. Actually, I'm doing it from last 2 semesters. Every time I keep on adding the things and reviewing my own stuff as well. Like, should I be added? Will it be helpful for them or not? So it's a learning process as well. Um, the course I have included or I'm experimenting on is the undergrad course 30B, which is introductory of the organic chemistry, and it's mainly for the pre-nursing, pre-dental students are take these courses. I applied it only on the organic lab course. Actually, lab course start planning to start in my lecture also from the next semester to see more improvement. Uh, so I followed through by doing the specific grading, break down my lab based on the SOLs I'm adding. So per my syllabus, every lab has related SLOs. So like a first lab is molecular modeling, where students, they build up the molecules, they learn about they're supposed to learn about the functional groups, so differentiate the different isomers, differences and trans isomers by looking at 3D models of that. Second one is identification of a hydrocarbon. So in hand, like learning whether the oil mix with the water or not, how to differentiate between the saturated, unsaturated hydrocarbons, and so on, like all the 15 labs. So I took a first one to present here, first and two to present here what I have involved. But as per SLOs, the total lab grade for the lab course are 40% of the course. What I have included, I'll say, uh, the report sheet for each lab is breakdown into the report sheets, worksheets, quiz for each experiments, lab exams, and the pre-lab, all divided. It's a kind of looks like a lot of work, but in every report sheet and worksheet, there's a specific gradings for them to steps involved as well. So I introduced the pre-lab for each lab that they can be prepared before coming in. Then during the lab, they are completing the report sheet. Then following the lab, they are bringing the worksheet from the previous labs. And it did, I'll say initially, it was like a lot of work for me as well as for the students to understand the pattern. But then initially they got used to, and they have so many ways to earn the points, not just one thing where all the points are located actually for them. Participation in the lecture of the experiment. So they have different ways at it. So the first lab is molecular modeling, just total 35 points which are included, which classify the organic molecules based on the functional group and differentiate between these cis and trans isomers. For this lab, I added the following, that they have a pre-lab, which is online. So I share on the canvas with them and a software which is available on the ACS side and ACS online labs, where you can play with the molecules, you can build the molecules, you can see their 3D structures and how they look. And how do I know that they are did it or not? They have to write 1 or 2 lines on the canvas about it. So these were kind of an easy 5 points for them to involve. And if they don't come prepared, which are some of them that they didn't even open the site and so what they do, they immediately come into the lab and then they start playing with it. So at least they are more prepared actually. The second part which they do is the report sheet, which is just during the lab time. They are working on the models, they're preparing the models, they're working during that time. Also is like, they have a one-on-one communication with me, showing and communicating with their um, lab mates as well. Which includes another 10 points for them, and which is breakdown that how they are presenting, how they are writing, whether they are specific about how they should draw the structure, like for the Newman projection, for saw, horse, or dash and wedge, whether they are able to present whether the molecule or the bond is coming out of the surface, bond is going out back of the surface, so proper drawing. And each one has a points breakdowns in it. The same is applies for the worksheet, but this is worksheets are kind of a homework for them from the lab, which is due to the next lab. And then total quiz online, I take only 5 quiz, 2 points, very simple one. To me, that all breakdown and specified based on these SLOs allows them, even if they miss something, they have chances to gather the points from it actually. So it did help for some of them, like if somebody is not doing a worksheet that they are not used to, of doing a homework or be prepared, at least they are in the presence of lab, they are getting the 10 points. So they are not losing the points. They do the quiz online also. Similar pattern in the second example also, like a pre-review the video before they coming in, how the experiment is being done. For most of the time, then when they come there, that is the only time they are opening their lab notebook and trying to read, not having initially idea how the glassware looks like. And the students for this pre-nursing, the chemistry, especially going into the organic chemistry, becomes totally a new, till you reach a half of the semester, then they get a hang of it. Okay, these are the molecules, this is what hydrocarbon calls it. So showing initially the how to perform an experiment in a lab, how to follow the safety even in it for any specific experiment, what to care about. That is part of the most of my pre-labs, that how you need to set up your experiment. Report sheet follows the same phenomena as the, same pattern as the previous one, worksheet and the online quiz. So what I would like, this is what for my all the 15 labs I do. As a result, what I see, that the students like that their work is being broken down and they have a chance to earn the points even in the smaller one. And some are good while they are doing an online activity, some are good when they are doing an in-person activity. And by doing an online activity as a pre-lab, their in-person lab activity has improved, because those who are, again, those who are come prepared, they are much more seems enthusiastic doing the labs in person as well. And I will see, I did see a 15% as approximate. In the participation, liking, even the scores on the lab work is 7% increment so far. Future, and I do like all of this work. The only thing, it's a lot of work applying in just in a one semester in a whole course. So I'm doing bit by bit, and I want to include this in my lecture course as well. And the lecture course, even in the homeworks, in the lecture course, combining with the lab course together. And one thing to be, not only it's a more work for me, which is fine. I don't mind doing as long as the students, what I'm trying to convey as a subject to them, they are gaining out of it. The students requires a continuous reminder actually that how this is going to work. As Tony was mentioning that the students are not conditioned with this kind of grading. So initially, in the beginning of a semester, a continuous reminder, this is how it works. Or the another way, from the last 2 years in the online teaching, we have seen that they are more used to looking at the deadlines. So if the online assignments tell them this is a deadline coming up, then they are tend to finish it on the deadline actually. So that's actually all from my side. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, TA. Thanks for Professor Singh Master. And Eileen, especially thanks to her for being so patient with me, especially because I've been doing things at the last moment. Thanks, Eileen.